In this video, I'll be reviewing this body weight scale I just bought from Withings, and each day of the week I'll be reviewing a different feature this body scale and its Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled app can bring. This body weight scale cost me £90. It's got great reviews on Amazon, coming in with a 4.3 star rating, 36,000 plus reviews, and it's supposed to precisely track body weight and body composition, such as fat and muscle percentage. Now the other night, my flatmate and I were discussing how they measure fat and muscle percentage, and came to the conclusion that it's got to be some sort of pulse or wave that's sent through the body and measures the density of the different tissues that make up the body. But let's ask ChatGPT real quick, because I'd like to know. These types of scales use a piece of technology called bioelectrical impedance analysis, or BIA for short. And here's how it works. When you step on the scale, it sends a very low electrical current through your body. You won't feel this current because it's extremely mild. Different tissues in your body, fat, muscle, water and bone, conduct electricity at different rates. Muscle contains more water, which is a good conductor of electricity, while fat is less conductive and provides more resistance to the electrical signal. The scale measures how much the electrical signal slows down as it passes through your body. Higher impedance indicates a higher fat percentage, while lower impedance suggests a higher muscle percentage, because muscle is more conductive than fat. Using algorithms, the scale interprets this data alongside other variables like your weight, height, age and gender to estimate your body fat percentage, muscle mass, sometimes even bone density and water weight. Basically, it does as my flatmate and I had thought, which makes complete sense. Now if there are any scientists watching, please get involved in the comment section below and let me know how accurate this data actually can be. Right, the only thing that remains for me to do is put this thing to the test. And the other feature that this scale has, that you can have up to 8 users. But back to the test. I'm going to use this thing every single day next week, starting on Sunday the 29th of September. I'll commit to weighing myself in the morning around 10 AM before I eat my breakfast, and then take you through the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth linked app on your smartphone. From the Amazon photos, this thing is supposed to provide graphs to help visualize your progress, so I'm looking forward to that. This is timed nicely with the levelling up of my sustainable weight loss journey, which I'll leave links for in the description below, because this scale is going to feature. But let me share the setup with you just in case you end up buying one. And you can see a link for this scale and all the other scales that Withings also provide in the description down below. So getting this thing out of its box, it was really weighty. That's usually a sign of a good product. The Amazon packaging was well protected. The Withings box is pretty sleek, and unravelling the see-through plastic, I felt like I was opening something from Apple. And it's a lovely looking scale, nothing rattles, unlike the cheap body weight scales you can get on Amazon as well. And just like the cheap body scale that I was previously using. It obviously comes with a set of instructions and 4 feet pads for when you want to use it on carpet. So I'm going to look at these instructions and I'll be right back with you. So the first thing I have to do is download the app and create an account. I then have to follow some installation instructions, which I won't bore you with, pretty standard. And that was pretty much it. On the back is a unit and pairing button for your different phones and respective accounts. And these things here, well, they're supposed to be the electrodes I was talking about earlier. And another thing you can do in the app is sync your health data from all of your health Bluetooth devices, such as my Apple Watch. And therefore I uploaded my life's worth of data from my Apple Watch. Even though this scale actually tracks your heart rate for you when you're standing on it, it's nice to have 2 lots of data now, so I can continue my accurate trend of tracking that data. At first glance, the graphs in the Withings app look nicer and better than the ones that the Apple Watch give you. I slept through my alarms on Sunday morning, so around 1 PM I weighed in at 102 kilograms, which was a bit surprising for me actually, and I'd hoped to be under 100 kilograms at the very least. It clearly shows I haven't paid enough attention to my 3 pillars this summer. The 3 pillars that helped me do so well at the very start, losing 17 kilograms in 6 months. I'm still lighter than when I started, but I definitely let it slip away. And I had some difficulty getting the fat and muscle percentage scan to work. So when I see you on Monday, hopefully I know how to have that working. And as Monday came on by, I was actually still having issues with the app. My data point from my Sunday's first weighing was showing I was 2 stone 9. I should have screen recorded it or screenshotted it or something like that. But that was clearly wrong. So I deleted the data points and I had to start again. This was actually really easy, so don't worry if you're having difficulties too. And after removing the data points, I was able to figure out how to measure my fat and muscle percentage. I am on my own weight loss journey, so as expected my numbers are a bit higher, weighing in at 101.9 kilograms, with muscle percentage of 66.3%, fat percentage of 30.3%, and bone percentage of 3.5%. As I scroll through the body composition section, I notice the in-depth area, and this scale measures your visceral fat index, where I came in at a 4.4, which is normal apparently, and lean mass percentage of 69.7%, as well as water mass percentage at 50.7%. Rolling into Tuesday, it was interesting to see that my water mass had actually reduced by 0.2%, and my lean mass had increased by 0.1%. My visceral fat index had remained flat at 4.4, muscle and bone percentage stayed the same, but fat percentage decreased by 0.1%. Which makes sense because my lean mass had increased by the same amount. And I know it's only 2 days worth of data, nothing tells me more than weighing in at the exact same weight. But I'm actually getting quite excited at seeing some of this data in action. Can't wait to start logging more data points to really see how my progression is going. I also want to see these graphs come to life as well. My full-time job is in data and data visualization. This is why I'm getting so excited about this. So I'm finally putting some numbers to my weight loss journey, making it that much more robust. And the setup's a bit like the Zoe Science and Nutrition setup, if any of you have done that too, where they get you reading a bunch of articles and a bunch of blogs that only take a minute or two to read, but are packed full of information and help you make the most out of this health tech, and helps you realise the full potential of what the products can actually do. One of the things I like about the scale, and particularly the app, is the achievements that are unlockable. I've got health data going back years from my Apple Watch, so some of these achievements I've already done. And another thing I like about the app is it's structured for you to read an article a day, like I mentioned yesterday, and they only take a minute or two to read. An article that's often about some of the metrics measurable by the scale. And today's article was about the basal metabolic rate, or BMR for short. It was an interesting read, and I found this bit about increasing my BMR particularly interesting. Nothing has changed with my body composition graphs today, as expected, but my BMR in the weight section of data has increased from 2,140 calories to 2,142. So over the past 2 days worth of data, my BMR has increased by 4 calories. So it'll be really interesting to see where this graph gets to by the end of the week. Stepping on the scale this morning, I didn't get a reading for my fat and muscle percentage, so I went again and it went through. And I'll tell you why the first reading didn't work later today. I'm going into the Withings app on my iPad, which is another thing they've done well. I noticed under the weight section, it suggested I was gaining weight, which is odd because I actually weighed in at 101.85 this morning. And I know what they've done, I know they've just rounded it up to 101.9 kilograms, but I just wondered why the graph couldn't differentiate between a rounded number and true weight gain or weight loss. Minimal though it is, it's something I spotted and wanted to point out to you. Because after all, you probably want a full review. My BMI has remained at 33.3. But interestingly enough, because the app gave me this section to read about yesterday, you can clearly see my BMR increasing steadily. And it was at this point when I started looking at the data and I started seeing some data points moving, did I understand how all of these measures and metrics come together. And at that point you start realising how powerful data can be, and the message it can give you about your lifestyle goals. So for instance, my goal is to lose fat and to define and partly build on the muscle that I've already got. But you're going to have to stick around until the end of the video to see how I'm going to analyse my own data and see how I'm tracking against my goal. But getting back to the app and my body composition. My muscle percentage had increased by 0.2% since Sunday and up 0.1% since yesterday. My fat percentage has decreased by 0.3% since Sunday and also down 0.1% since yesterday. My visceral fat, which is the bad fat around your organs, shows my index decreasing from 4.4 to 4.3, and my lean mass has increased by 0.2% since yesterday and 0.3% since Sunday, and my water mass is now at 51.6%, and in this graph you can also see this clearly rising. And heading back to the homepage, I noticed an error regarding my body composition reading, which they wanted me to read, and it turns out you're not allowed skin on skin contact. So when I itched my arm, I caused the reading to fail. Nothing more, nothing less than that. But that's just something else you need to look out for if you do happen to purchase this product, or any other smart scale that measures your muscle and fat percentage. And I collected a few achievements that have been sat there for a while. Friday comes by and I wanted to show you another feature that I found. I noticed in the Achieve section you have two panes, Programs and Library, where in the Programs section you can see that I am yet to master my Body Smart. And this is a 2-week program consisting of articles, measurements and exercise prompts. And as I scroll through the rest of the program section, you can see a bunch of programs to join. But these are for the Withings Plus members, and maybe in the future I'll join the subscription. But for now, I don't want another one. Unless I hear from a bunch of you in the comments, asking for content to cover it, and I'll happily subscribe and provide. But there's a free program right down here at the bottom. It's where you can take your first health improvement assessment. This program's content for another video, so I'll work on that in the background. And clicking through on the library section, you can see you have a favourite section and an explore section. And I'll be spending some time looking into these because I've used the recipes in my cookbooks so many times now, I need to mix it up. Moving back to the home page and my readings, I weighed in at 101.4 kilograms this morning. So I'm down 0.6 kilograms from Sunday. My body mass index has decreased to 33.1, and my body composition section, the only thing that's changed since yesterday is my muscle percentage, which is up 0.1%. And that's really interesting, and I wonder if there's a certain something I've been doing this week that may be a cause of that. So stick around until the end of the video to find that out. And my water mass has decreased to 51%, down from 51.6. I studied physical education at school, and I never really came across water mass, and it's something I'm interested to learn about. So if any of you know any science behind that, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm sure it'll help other viewers too. I've gone to my parents on Friday night to stay over. Unfortunately, we had to put our family dog down a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to spend more time with them, but I'm really happy from today's numbers when you'll see later on in my weigh-in. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I did that will have resulted in such favourable metrics. So I got home around 7:30 to weigh myself in, weighing in at 100.5 kilograms, BMI of 32.8, and onto the body composition section, where my muscle is in at 67.2%, fat in at 29.3%, which is under 30% now, and a 0.7% improvement on yesterday's data. Visceral fat in at 4.2, and lean mass up to 70.7%. And the sixth and final feature that I found this week that I wanted to show you is down at the bottom of the homepage. It's the leaderboard and trends section. The leaderboard section seems to allow you to challenge your friends and family to step counts. And the trends section shows you your workout, sleep quality score and daily steps trends for even more tracking and data points. So let me consolidate my first weeks of experience with using this Withings Body Smart Scale. For what it's worth, I really enjoyed using this product and would recommend it to anyone who wants to get serious about their weight loss. Not only because of its slick design and quality finish, but mainly for what you get as a package, and mainly the app. It's so insightful, and as you've seen from this video, you can see minor movements and trends over even as little as a 24-hour period. And the measures I was seeing each morning were making sense based on the food and the exercise that I did the day before. And I'm just about to touch on something I mentioned earlier, as to why my muscle and fat percentage has been moving favourably this week. And after a summer of looser eating habits, I felt it was necessary to reduce my appetite first. And that meant eating a bigger breakfast at a time that's much closer to lunch and having an early dinner. So that answers the 1.5 kilogram weight loss this week. But the most interesting thing I did this week was dropping and doing 5 or 10 press-ups at random points throughout the day. I'd end up totaling 50 to 70 press-ups because I need to get back to the gym, and I felt this minimal level of exercise would help me build up my strength without injuring me at the same time. And I'm unfortunately injury prone. And I've actually just been astounded as to how visibly my chest has changed over the past week. It's flattened out considerably. I've actually been quite amazed at the impact that it's had. So much so that the 0.9% increase in my lean muscle mass and 0.9% fat decrease this week makes even more sense. I'm interested to see where this press up thing goes, so I will commit to something here. You have to stick around for that video, and you'll have to subscribe and turn the notification bell on. And this week I replenished my apple cider vinegar stock, which helped me lose 17 kilograms in 6 months without any exercise. And I'll leave a link for that in the description down below. And here you can watch one of my videos that YouTube recommends for you. I'll put a bunch of links to other videos in the description down below there too.